starting in a seated position on your mat. So this is where you might want to sit on a cushion or maybe a rolled up blanket, or if you've got a skinny block, they're always good for that. Just to help your hips open out a little bit. Obviously, you can have your legs straight or kneeling, whatever is comfortable for you. So today's class is just a wind down flow. So it's to help calm your mind, ease any tension that you might have in your body with just some fluid motion and movement. And then we'll be ending with a guided meditation. So hopefully, as you start to connect with your breath, you can leave anything that's going on outside, anything that's off the mat, very much in the outside space, and give yourself permission to be completely present in this practice. And as I said before, do feel free to have your camera off, just so that that's one more way in which you can detach from technology, from the outside world. And just start to lengthen your breathing here. If you've been rushing around right up until the point of joining, just start to let that settle down. And taking a big inhale, lifting up your shoulders, and let them go with a sigh. Or do that twice more just to help you arrive. Inhale, lift the shoulders. And exhale with a sigh. Once more. And then just start to roll the shoulders forwards, up, back and down. Either both at the same time or one at a time, whichever feels good for you. Might want to do a bit of a mixture of both. Slight different in movements means that you get into different places in your body. So just easing out your shoulders and going the other way. You can make this movement as big or as small as you like. We will be slowly having less and less movement in the body. So if you want to make it nice and big now, then that's absolutely fine by me. And then taking your hands back down to your knees, dropping your chin down towards your chest. And on an inhale, rolling your right ear towards your right shoulder. And exhale back down, chin to chest. Inhale, left ear to left shoulder. And exhale back down, chin to chest. Again, just moving with your breath here. Nice and slowly. Just finding that gentle movement in your neck. Easing out all the muscles. And coming back to center, we're going to find our way down onto the mat here. Just rolling down onto your back and either having your legs extended, arms down by your side, or if your lower back's a little bit happier that way, you can plant your feet on the mat and just let your knees knock in together. And taking your hands onto your stomach, reconnecting with that breath. Maybe close the eyes. And really starting to let that breath deepen right down into your diaphragm. Feel your hands lift up as the stomach rises and falling back down with the exhale. The wonderful thing about the breath is that not only can it tell you how you're feeling, and you'll notice that your breath changes when you're feeling a particular way. If you're upset, then your breath can become really short and sharp. That's where your breath is showing you how your emotions are feeling. So the wonderful thing about the breath is that we can flip that on its head and choose to control the breath. Choose the message that that then sends to your brain. And as we lengthen your inhale and your exhale, it helps you to leave the fight or flight sympathetic nervous system and enter the parasympathetic rest and digest nervous system. It's just a simple exercise of focusing on your breath. It works such wonders for your brain. So try to maintain a nice deep breathing throughout the practice. Don't worry if we're not quite moving at the same time. Just follow your own breath. I'm going to start to bring some movement into the body. So if you have your legs extended, bringing them back in, stacking your ankles underneath your knees, letting your arms go down by your side. Going to start to wave up through the spine in bridge pose. So as you inhale, pushing down through the feet, starting to lift the hips up towards the ceiling, waving up through the spine. And exhale, lowering one vertebra at a time. Continue that movement. So inhale, waving up, gently peeling the back away from your mat. And exhale, releasing back down. Continue flowing with your breath. Moving the spine in lots of different ways throughout this practice. Depending on your lifestyle, you don't necessarily get to move it in lots of different directions. And it's been designed in such a fantastic way that it really can move every which way. And it likes to. So if it doesn't get moved, it can get a little bit grumpy. So we're just going to ease out any tension in your spine. Last time, waving up. Now when you next come back down, just taking a pause. And then maybe walking your feet a little bit further away. Just making sure your hands aren't in the way here. We're going to let your knees drop down over to one side. As I say, take your feet further away if that will give you a little bit more space in the spine. Otherwise, continue waving with the breath. Inhaling as you draw your knees up to center. And exhale, let them drop over to the other side. Continuing that waving motion with your breath. Inhale up to center. And exhale, dropping them down. Finding this sideways rotation through the spine now. Again, maintaining that nice deep breathing. Do that a few more times with the breath. When you next find yourself in the center, Draw your knees in towards your chest and give them a big squeeze. Now rock from side to side, just giving your lower back a little massage. Nice and slowly. Maybe take your hands onto the knees and just find a bit of circular motion here. Again, just easing out that lower back. And going the other way as well. Then coming back to center, we are going to come over onto all fours now. So take your time. Oh, there's no rush. Whenever you get there, coming to all fours position. And we're going to take a few cat-cows here. So spreading the fingers nice and wide. As you inhale, lifting the chest, lift the gaze. And exhaling, pushing through the hands around the back, chin to chest. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the gaze. And exhale, rounding through the spine, belly button to spine. Just continue flowing through that movement with the breath. And know that this is just a template that I'm giving you. Feel free to explore in your body here. You may find that going forward and back isn't quite enough. Want to maybe add a bit of circle, maybe a little bit of side to side swaying. My teacher trainer called this sassy cat, where you're waving from side to side. It's as though you're checking out your cat's tail behind you. So whether you're finding a little bit of sass here, or just sticking with your cat-cow, we're going to flow into a child's pose now as well. So bringing your feet together, knees wide, start to sink your weight back towards your heels. We won't stay here for long. Rising back up again, back to all fours. And then walking the hands forwards a little bit. Going to gently flop our way down onto the mat. So we're going to link up our breath with this again. So inhale as you rise up. And then exhale, rounding through the back, through to child's pose. Inhale, rising up. And exhale, lowering yourself down gently to the mat. Flowing with your breath, just really exploring that movement in your spine, taking your time. And the next time you come to child's pose, we'll all meet you there, no rush, whenever you get there. Taking a pause here. You want to really release your upper body down to the ground. So if your head will get there on its own, fantastic. Or you can stack your fists together and rest your head down. Or if you've got a cushion, feel free to rest your head on that. And then if you like, you can extend your arms out in front of you. Maybe coming up onto the tips of your fingers here. Just to add an extra shoulder stretch in. Breathing deep into the back of your rib cage. Two more breaths here. And then rising back up to all fours. And just thread the needle a few times. So planting through your right hand, spread the fingers nice and wide. Just going to extend that left arm up towards the ceiling, turning the body to face the side. And then sweeping the arms through, nice and close to the body. Out to the other side with a big old stretch. Let me face you, you can see what I'm doing. And then repeating that with the breath. So inhale, reaching on up. And exhale, sweeping through. Once more, reaching up nice and high. And exhale, sweeping through. And then if you like, you can drop down towards the mat. And take a few breaths here. Maybe see if you can walk that arm through a little bit further. You've also got the option of extending that right arm out in front of you. Or you can always just take it behind your back, whichever feels good for you right now. One more big breath here. And then as you exhale, draw your hands back in, planting down so you can come back up onto all fours. And we'll take that on the other side. So spreading through your left hand, reaching the right arm up nice and high. And exhale, sweeping through close to the body, reaching out the other side. Inhale, sweeping up. And exhale, reaching through. Last time, reaching up. And exhale, sweeping through. Option to sink down to the mat. Maybe wriggle that right arm through a little bit further. And then your choice. Do you want to walk your left hand forward a little bit? Or maybe take it behind your back. See what feels good for you. Breathe deep. One more big breath here. And then drawing the hands in, pushing through that left hand to bring yourself back up to all fours. And then I think we will come just to a little flow in the leg. So stepping your right leg forward, back to where your right hand was. Maybe walk it wide a little bit. And then we're just going to flow back and forth here. So shifting your weight back. Maybe your toes will lift at the front. And then exhale, flowing back forwards here, stretching out the back leg. Inhale, wave back. Feel free to keep a nice big bend in that right leg. And exhale forwards. Try to release into that stretch once more, flowing back, inhale. And exhale forwards. And swapping the legs over, take your time, no rush. Right leg back, left leg forwards. Taking a moment, maybe to walk that left foot a little bit wider. Find your balance here. And inhale, shifting your weight back. And exhale forward, nice and fluid. Don't worry about any long pauses, any long holds here. We'll only be doing holds in the nice gentle positions. Last time. Lovely. Sweeping that leg back round and coming down back onto the mat. If you have that cushion or a block accessible, feel free to pop yourself back onto it. Taking the soles of the feet together. It doesn't matter how close they are towards you. In fact, the further away, the better, because you want this to be a really passive hip opening here. And just taking the hands down onto the knees. Just going to flutter like a butterfly. Nice and gently. Lifting the knees up and down again. Gentle movement in your hips here. Still breathing deep. Then coming to a pause, feel free to just let your legs relax into a more cross-legged position if that's more comfortable. And then as you inhale, reach the arms out nice and wide, big expansive breath. And then exhale, rounding the spine. Give yourself a lovely big old bear hug. We'll do that twice more. Inhale, expand. And exhale, round the back. Big old hug. Once more. Inhale, reaching out. And exhale, rounding the spine. Releasing. And releasing your hands down. We're just going to come back down onto our backs here. As we start to wind back down, it feels like we've only just started moving. So that's the wonder of a short practice. So you're straight into wind down straight away. Bringing your feet back onto the mat. We're going to repeat bridge pose again. So feet under your knees, hands down by your side. And again, just finding that fluid motion. So inhale, pushing down through the feet, waving up through the spine. Lifting the hips. And then exhale, peeling back down towards the mat. Twice more. Inhale, rise. And exhale, lower. Inhale, rise. And exhale, lower. We're walking those feet further away. Extending the arms out to shoulder height this time. Repeat that windscreen wiper motion. Let the knees drop over to one side. Drawing them back up to center on the inhale. And letting them drop over to the other side on the exhale. Feel free to introduce some neck movement here. So as your knees go one way, taking your gaze over to the opposite shoulder. Nice and gently. Moving your whole spine. And the next time you come up to center, drawing the knees back into the chest. Big squeeze, hugging your knees in nice and tight. And then extending your legs long along the mat. Maybe taking a big stretch here, extending the arms above you if you've got room. Stretching through the toes. And then we'll be coming to our Shavasana, our final resting pose. So either taking your arms alongside your body, legs out straight, letting your feet relax down to the sides. And feel free to grab your blanket here. Any layers, get yourself nice and snugly. Or as before, feel free to plant the feet nice and wide, letting the knees drop in. Whichever is your choice of Shavasana tonight. Let the eyes close. And just take a moment to settle into this final pose this evening. Release any breath control. Let your breath settle into its natural rhythm. Just start to take your gaze inwards. So notice where your body is in connection with the ground or your mat. Let your body sink down through those points of contact. Notice where your clothes are in contact with your skin. Observe your breath as it comes in through the nose and out the nostrils. Relax your face and your jaw. Let your body be heavy. With every exhale, soften your body a little bit more. With every exhale, release any tension. With every exhale, let go of any thoughts that may enter your mind. With every exhale, release. If you wish, you can stay here. I will close the call down so you don't need to worry about leaving the meeting. Leaving the class, you can just stay as you are. Otherwise, if you wish, start to deepen your breath and bring some movement back into your fingers and toes. And taking your time, rolling over onto one side. You can keep your eyes closed if you wish, and gently push your way up to seated. Resting your hands down on your knees. Just taking a few cleansing breaths here. So big inhale and release through your mouth. Twice more. Inhale and exhale through your mouth. Last time. Letting the eyes open. Bringing your hands to heart center. I invite you to join me in thanking yourself for this practice, everyone else who's joined this evening, and in gratitude to the practice of yoga. Gently bow the head as we say together, Namaste.